Hi. I felt we had a visitor. I just came in for you. Are you here for the sheep? Don't tell me. Yeah. You must be here for a healing, right? Oh, that's just what I do. Upon first observation, I noticed you had some of those butterflies running around your head. Oh, trust me, there are butterflies. They're just invisible to most people. They started fluttering around your head about 2 or 3 days ago. And the more they stay, the more interesting your dreams will be. So I would say enjoy them for a while. But if they keep doing what they're doing for about a month, I would say that you should probably release them, because it could get very interesting. I will not get too much into the details about this, but it could get a little bit inconvenient. I will tell you later how to deal with them. But first I want to focus on what you really came here for. The more I observe, the more I learn. And yes, okay. I can see something that's not quite in balance right now. Don't tell me. I need to observe without any words influencing my observations. Let me try with something first. Can you see this? Yeah, it's an onion. Thank you for confirming my suspicions. An onion, yes. But can you see it as an onion and nothing else? Can you hear it as an onion and nothing else? Bring it closer. What can you smell from the onion? What can you tell about the onion? First thing that comes to mind. What can you hear within the onion? I'm not judging, just tell me. Yes. I do enjoy them in soup. So, this was just a test about certain afflictions. Oh. Once again, can you see something in the onion? Sorry, I just had to. I noticed the face in the pox in the skin. It's nothing to be worried about. I was just testing you. Testing your reactions to my very, very bad humor. Yes, but doesn't that sound wonderful? There are few things in this world that sound like an onion skin when it's dry. It is my hope that more people will take the time to appreciate things for what they are and not take them for granted. And the sound of an onion may sound like nothing important really, but it is important. It is as real as you and I. And this is a symbol of life. This onion has started sprouting. I will put this in my garden, and when it is ready, when it has done its cycle, there will be offspring and offspring and offspring of onion. From one onion, there will come many onions in my future and my family's future. And that is beautiful. That is a gift. And we need to appreciate these gifts, because time flies. And we may never be able to appreciate them in quite the same way again. So in this moment right now, this onion is a beautiful thing, and we need to be grateful for that and say thank you, Mr. Onion, for being what you are, and thank you, nature, for what you bring to us without much effort on our part. We do need to produce an effort, but provide an effort to get the produce. But compared to what nature does on its own, we only play a small part, and that is humbling, but I think in a good way. Oh, that was just certain people, when they are afflicted with certain conditions, they can be severely affected by the sight, smell, or sound of an onion. So since you were not particularly reactive to it, I am not worried about those conditions. So this is how I do my work mostly. I will test you with, and your condition, with several implements, plants, rocks, gestures, sounds. Definitely sounds. I have a great affinity with the world of sounds. Musical spirits must have blessed me when I was a child. Okay, let's just look at different things here. I believe you may be ready for a little chime evaluation. I have something for you. You can close your eyes if you want, so that the sound will affect you first. You trust me? I know we just met, but it is not in my interest to hurt you. A healer is only as good as his reputation. If people don't come anymore, I will not be able to practice. So I have never hurt someone on purpose, and if I have hurt, I always have repaired my damage. Okay, so close your eyes. And pay attention. You can open your eyes now. I saw you peek. It's okay. This is a very unusual sound for these parts of the world. This is a gift from a traveler who told me that these come from a place called a rainforest, and they have gigantic trees, and these are seeds. These are the outer shells of the seeds of those trees, and they linked them together with woven rope in a special way so that they will hit each other gently or violently, depending on how we intend to use them. And they are very, very calming. They remind me of wind chimes and the rain and bubbling water in a small brook. So you can go like this, slow movements, or you can do like a tree shakes in the wind. I can see how this is affecting you. Are you shedding the tension yet? Can you feel it? Yeah. It always does that to me when I use it. Now remember this sound. for now, just remember this sound. I know you have a lot of questions, but just let me do my routine and trust that I know what I am doing, and some answers are coming to me as I am doing this. I do not wish to mislead you or confuse you with terms that you may or may not understand or misinterpret. So for now, just enjoy. Most of what I do is quite pleasant, and if you get anything from this session, will be relaxation. So everybody needs a little bit of relaxation in their lives. So just enjoy, and we will see what kind of effects that we are getting. Now this is a bottle, of course, a rare bottle of glass from made in a place where sand is king, I was told. It is a desert, and they have lots of sand, and as you may or may not know, glass is made from sand, and it is a secret process that very few people know, and I am not privy to this knowledge, but I do appreciate glass. It does marvelous things for a home. You put a bottle such as this one, or any other color, if you are fortunate enough to have one that is colored, and you put it on your window shelf. You may want to put some water in it. Although if it is very sunny, I would say avoid that, because it may act like a magnifying glass, and you may start a fire in your home just from the sun. So be careful if it is too sunny. But with or without water, the sun will hit the bottle and will project lights or little spots of light in your home, and it brings a special kind of magic. I have noticed some small creatures enjoying the dancing lights, especially dust bunnies and fairies have been known to dance around the moving dust particles illuminated by these kinds of bottles. It contains a food that was given to me by another traveler, and this food is called rice. It is a grain, not quite like wheat. It is a grain more like, I would not know how to describe it as something like any other thing. It is white, it is dry, you cannot eat it. Oh, I am in need of a funnel to put it back in the bottle. I believe there was a little stone in my rice. But that is okay, it's all part of life. You just pay attention when you serve yourself some food. Always check for small stones. Now, when I combined this bottle with the rice, I found out the magical property I was given by this grateful traveler. He did not tell me. He said I would find out in due time. And I did find out quickly, because I like to experiment. And I found out that when I put anything that may fit in this bottle, it will multiply over a matter of a few days. So if I give you most of what is in this bottle, and I will, in 3 days I will have the same quantity. So it does not work for everything, and it does not work for all time, but it has served me well over the past few weeks, and I want you to benefit from it. One moment. I am treating myself for a little ailment, and I found that rice is very potent to provide you with the energy you need to go through your day, even when you are a little bit afflicted. Don't worry, it is not contagious. So rice is a grain. It is not edible the way it is now, but I will give you instructions in a parchment later, and once you're home, you may bring it to a boil in a container of metal or of pottery, of ceramic, and you need to bring it to a boil. Then reduce the heat, or put your pot far away from the heat far enough away to reduce the temperature, and then you cover it at low and you simmer it at low temperature until all the water has evaporated. I will give you the recipe, the precise quantities for that to happen. And when it has gone through the cycle, you will have delicious grain to eat with your family, and there will be enough for all. A very small quantity doubles or triples in size depending on the variety. I particularly appreciate rice, and I hope you will as well. I have a friend in the next village that can provide me with bags of it if you are interested. It does provide lots of nutrition for very low costs. It doesn't cost many coins to get a bag of rice, and it keeps for up to a year in a dry place. You do have to protect it from the rodents, however, and the insects, so I would recommend a clay pot with a heavy stone on top of the lid. So I'm giving you some of that rice, but it's not just for feeding you. I have imbued this rice with an intention, and this intention is healing and balance. So whatever I put in this bottle will have the effect of helping you get over an affliction, and it will also give you a little bit of extra energy to help you reach a certain level of balance in your life. So that's why I want to give this to you right now. Have you heard this sound? I will put the rice in a pouch that I'm going to give you. I make these myself, and this one is leather, very clean, very high quality leather, so that, and yes, the shiny side of the leather is on the inside, so that it will be more watertight. Oh, I'll pick that up later, or I'll have my mouse eat it. I have a pet mouse, by the way. His name is Mike. He's gone now, but he comes back at night. Mike will eat that with pleasure. They can eat rice like that. They don't need to cook it. So I left a little bit in the bottle. In 3 days I'll have the same quantity that I gave you. I'll probably have more because I have a bag in the back. I'll multiply it as needed by my family. So I'm going to tie the pouch with a knot so that it doesn't open unless you want it to. And that's yours. And I recommend using this pouch for carrying food only, and only dry food, like grains of wheat or seeds, things like that. Do not put coins in this pouch, unless of course you want to start using it for coins only. You don't want to mix your coins with your food. It may sound a bit strange, but trust me on this, it is not healthy to carry things that everybody has been touching in the same vessel as your food. Oh, wash your hands before you eat. Now you heard this. Good. Not everybody has, unfortunately. Okay. Well, it is my job. It is my work as a healer to tell you about these things. Washing of the hands is really important in order to keep the ailments at bay and under control. If you have a disease that can be transmitted by touch or by fluids, and you have not washed your hands before you feed someone or before you touch someone, you may transmit your disease to them and they to you. So it never stops. It is a cycle. So we need to stop it by taking precautions. Okay, enough with the lesson right now. Don't worry, I wasn't gonna hurt you. This is just a test for your reaction. If you had been on the verge of what I thought you could have been on the verge of, your reaction would have been a lot more aggressive than that. I could see some concern and confusion, but no overt aggressivity. So that is a good sign. This is actually not a weapon, although it could be used as such. Just like anything, it has multi-purposes. It has many purposes. Just like people have more than a few purposes. This is actually, I use it mostly as a musical instrument. I hold it like this on my arm, and I just... It doesn't sound very loud, does it? But it's very soothing. I have helped my children fall asleep to that sound many, many times. So let's proceed with a little bit of testing. Ah, yes. This is the coconut bell. I made it out of a half shell of a seed of a fruit called a coconut. It comes from an island in a faraway land, where it's an island. Oh, an island is a plot of land surrounded by a sea. A sea is like a lake, a very large lake, the largest lake you can imagine. Yes, and there's water all around, so people can only travel there by boat for most cases of islands. Some islands the water goes down once a day and people can travel by foot or by vehicle. But this island, I was told, is always surrounded by the sea. And they have large trees that are called coconut trees, I believe. And they have these bigger, they are much bigger than this. This is one of the inside shell. This is the seed in the middle. And there is something, I saw drawings. It is hard for me to describe because I only saw drawings of them. What I got was just the shell from the seed after the food inside was eaten by the traveler who gave it to me. But he said that's all he could give me, and I was really grateful because I've never had the occasion of touching such a fascinating piece of nature. So I fashioned it into a bell by fastening a rope and a little wooden sphere at just the right distance to create the effect of a bell. Now, how do you react to that sound? Can you hear it very, very well from this distance? Or is it muffled a lot? How about this? It has a different quality on this side, doesn't it? How about now? I was just testing you. Yes, exactly. It is drier because I'm holding the cup. I'm holding the bell. Does it sound the same on this side? Now it is? Okay. Now this is a stone, as you might have noticed. And this stone comes from a place of mountains. They have a lot of these stones around. They build their dwellings out of it. And these stones are very sharp and very raw. And they are full of energy. This stone is from another land where it is all desert. At least when you first look, you think it is all sand and nothing else. But there are stones, and there are creatures living in the sand, under the sand. There's an entire world under the desert and nobody usually pays attention to. But the desert is also alive, just like a forest is alive. It is different, that is all. This stone and this stone together have never met before. Both of them ended up in my house. And both of them were gifts from travelers. Now you might wonder why people carry stones in their belongings when they travel long distances. Well, people find value from what they observe and for what they need. This stone in particular was used as a way to keep their wagon in balance when it was loaded with a lot of goods. On one side of the wagon there was a tendency to lift, so they took a stone and they put it there. When someone I helped with an ailment asked me what I wanted for payment, and I saw the stone forgotten in the wagon. I said, "Do you need this stone still?" And he said, "No, I was wondering what to do with it." I said, "May I have this stone?" And they looked like I was asking something strange. And for them I was. It is just a stone. Why would you want that as payment? I said, "I like the stone." And they said, "Very well, you can have the stone." And when I did not know myself why I wanted the stone to be here, but I did. And when this stone ended up next to this stone, I noticed that they had a beautiful sound together. And I will have you listen to it right now. And I will observe your reactions. That was one rhythm. Let's try another. Another. It is good exercise for the arms, by the way. I just noticed something in your eyes. It's getting a little bit hot in here. I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'm just going to remove my vest. It was a bit chilly outdoors, and we are indoors now, and the fire is going, so I will just, that is much better. So I was saying, I noticed something in your eyes as I was moving the stone the last time. And this brings me to this strange question, but please bear with me and answer honestly. First thing that comes to mind. Have you recently been attacked by a creature in the woods? No? Okay. Have you recently been wounded by a strange bush or a strange plant? No, okay. Have you been attacked by a person who bit you within the last 6 months? Oh, I just guessed because of the reactions. Okay. Have you felt a bit more aggressive recently? You have? Okay. Nothing to be worried about. I think we are dealing with a situation. I just need to proceed with another test to be absolutely certain. I know I have it somewhere around here. I had 2 of them. I swore at that. Ah, perfect. Can you smell this, please? Oh, it's a volcanic rock. It's like a sponge. Can you smell it for me, please? It's okay if you sneeze, just don't sneeze on me. Please. Thank you. This is an old copper cup. Of course, it's tarnished, but it does its purpose. I actually need the tarnish for this. Smell this one, please. Now listen to it. On this side. Smell it again. Deeper. It's important. I know it's irritating, but please. Okay, thank you. I need something else from this. What color is the dust? You don't see it? Good. I notice no discoloration. Does it smell different to you? Yeah, there is a smell of copper. But besides that, okay. Oh well. You are in the early stages of an affliction that could become serious. I don't mean to alarm you, but it is serious. So, you may experience, if we don't treat it, of course, some sudden bouts of aggressivity. You may start attacking poultry at first and eventually people. If we don't treat this, it may go as far as you transforming into some kind of dog, or perhaps a wolf, or sometimes a fox, depending on the person. It affects different people differently. It is called by many names. Some people call it shape-shifting. Some people call it a loup-garou or a werewolf. If you've heard the legends, the stories, it may be very frightening to you right now, but there's nothing to worry about. I have dealt with this before. So I have several treatments, but we will start with the mild ones at first. Here is a plant from a rainforest from far away, and it is said that, and I have observed it, that a person afflicted with lycanthropy is another word for it, will react mildly to the sight of this plant. Very early stages. I barely see anything. I saw a change of color in your irises. Nothing to worry about. We caught it on time. Okay. A silver coin. Hold this in your hand, please. As long as you can. Until it hurts. Just irritating? Good. Thank you. I want you to hold 2 coins this time, one in each hand. You can give it back now. Thank you. So as I said earlier, you're a very early stage, so that is good. That is very good. If you had come to me 2 weeks later, I would have had to take more drastic measures. So the rice will help already. I'm glad that we already got that covered. We need. Again with the reaction testing. This is a brass bell without a handle. It's important. Can you still hear it ringing? Good. I want you to have this. I'm going to give you the box and the content. The box protects the content, and it protects you against whatever might be inside. In this case, it is neutral. I have purified everything. But once you start using it, I want you to be very careful to put the stone back into the box after every night, please. And don't let anybody else play with it, especially children. It's very important. So this box is protected. It has a special alloy of metal on the outside. It is wood, of a hardwood of an old tree that was struck by lightning. And it has special patterns of force designed into the metal. So with this in mind, with the brackets, with the bottom, everything is what you might call airtight, magically speaking. And I'm not technically a wizard, but I do have a friend who helps me in situations like these. I can put my intention over an object, and with his help I can focus it, and we can focus it and have an object such as this. So once you're done with the treatment, I highly recommend you keep this box, and you only use it for good. Only use it for treatments, for energizing seeds to help for a better harvest, things like that. But as long as you're under the treatment for this ailment, the lycanthropy or shape-shifting, or by the way, keep that a secret. As long as you're under the treatment, don't use it for anything else. Don't use the box for anything else. So this stone is neutral right now. I just picked it up from the stream last month. It has been through a full cycle of the moon, and it's been purified by salt. So it is ready to be charged with any intention that we put into it, and it will do its task until completed. So for this, I will hold it in my hand. I will apply pressure, and you can do that as well. It doesn't require any kind of special skills. You just need to know how to do it. I'll put the box away now. You take a stone that has been purified, or that comes directly from a stream. The stream is already purifying the stones, so you don't need to do that yourself if it comes fresh from a stream. This one I suspected was charged with something else, so I took no chances and I purified it. So you hold the stone in your hand, and you apply pressure, and you pay attention to your reaction, to your body's reaction to the stone, until you can feel your heart beat in your body and eventually in your hand. When you feel your heartbeat in your hand, you can release the tension that you were putting on the stone, and you entertain the feeling. You keep it alive in your hand. And if you close this other hand as well, with a tiny bit of focus, you can send your heartbeat in both hands, and then your feet, and then your legs. Eventually you can feel your heartbeat in your entire body. That is the point to get, to put your intention into an object, or a point to get to put an intention in yourself. So while you're feeling your heartbeat, it brings you peace, it brings you energy. Try to feel the connection from the soil, the connection from the sky, the connection from the object you are holding, in this case a stone. It is real, just as real as you are, and you want to infuse in it your intention, your gratitude, your wish, your magic, anything you want really. I would recommend doing that for something positive, nothing negative. The positive will come back to you, the negative will come back to you, sometimes tenfold. Which one do you want to risk? So you put your intention. Right now I'm going to do it as fast because I know I have done it before, and I remember the feelings. I need to summon to make it happen. I like to hum when I do this. That doesn't work. I'm going to try another one. The deeper notes are for grounding. So your stone is ready. I will put it in the box, and if you drop it, I recommend that you polish it with clear, pure water. But try not to put anything else like soap on the stone unless it's absolutely necessary. And if that does happen, please put your intention back into the stone. Find your own version of what I just did, something you're comfortable with. As long as you have the intention, the stone will understand, and it will help you in whatever you are doing and whatever you are dealing with. So I put that next to the pouch, and when you leave you can grab them both. I have a box here. My wife made that box from an old tree that was struck by lightning. it is a pattern with us. we love to reuse things that have been something else before. Just like the box, I think it comes from the same tree actually. I should ask. I like to know the stories, the stories of the objects I give away. So this is a box. It opens like this. I call this box Namlog, after the meaning of it, naming log. It contains tiles of bone with strange runes on them. Fortunately for us both, I can read those runes. You can read them? What's this one say? Good. How about this one? Not that I doubt you, but I want to be very sure. Okay then. So we will be out for them back. I'm surprised that you can read these. They're a language from far away. I only know them because I was taught by a traveler who was my adoptive father. He's since moved on, but he left me a lot of knowledge. So, isn't that the same letter that we had before? I think it was. That's interesting. I should not look at the stones. I mean, the bones. They're tiles of bone. They don't feel like bone anymore. They've been oiled, made them glossy. Ah, that's a U. So we have a U, our U. Another U. That is strange. Are you you? Are you you? You gotta pay attention to the messages that we get. Currently, do you feel like yourself? Oh, I'm not kidding. First thing that comes to mind. Right now, do you feel like yourself? Yeah, besides the strange visit, yes, okay. Okay, let's move on. A. C. We need 7 symbols. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I. Another R. We have 7 symbols. So I'll close the box and we will look at these letters. Sorry, I can't show you right now. Stay there. Don't worry. I'm gonna show them this. You know what? I'm gonna put them on my hand. You'll see them better. I don't want you to move. You're in exactly the right spot right now for my evaluations. I designed my house this way for that reason. So please stay there. You're surrounded with protective energies right now. So I'm shuffling the letters right now to try to see what the message is, because there's usually a message. Ruya Uker. I don't know the meaning of that. R-I-R-A. R-I-R-A. That is a French word. Do you know France? It's a distant country. People speak French there. And rira means to laugh in the future. Like, this man will laugh. Cet homme rira. Rira uku? Uku does not mean anything to me. Does it mean anything to you? Right now I see no meaning, no specific meaning, but we must pay attention and keep on digging. Raku. If there was a K instead of the C, we would have Raku, which is a Japanese method of firing, or glazing actually. It's not exactly a glaze, but it is a way to change the colors on the outside of clay pots. I believe people don't use them for food. I would have to ask. I have a friend who practices this ancient tradition. His name is actually Ryu. And that's his name right here. Do you know him? Have you met him? He's a tall, skinny man with a short beard, black as coal, and he usually wears blue somewhere on his brown costume, I should say, clothing. No? Okay. Always pay attention to the messages. At this moment, I will shuffle them quickly to see if we can come up with something faster for you. Oh. I found it. C-U-I-R. It means, it means leather in French again. So twice we've had words that were French in this strange picking of letters. So C-U-I-R means leather in French. And if I put these other three letters, are you a leather? Are you a leather? Or are you a letter? Do you have a message for me? Do you have a specific message for me or a stranger that you were told you would know who to give it to? No? Okay. So we must assume that it means leather. Well, I am giving you a pouch of leather. I'm not sure that's the connection. Do you tan your own? Do you tan your own leather? No? Well, sometimes in life we have to accept that there are mysteries that we don't always have the answers for immediately. So please think of these words. So leather is the second word. And the first word was laugh. In the future, he will laugh or she will laugh. Whatever that means to you or will mean to you. The naming log has never been wrong. Okay, I have these stones here from the land of the fire mountains. Have you ever heard of fire mountains? Volcanoes. They're mountains that are on fire. And when they erupt, when they get angry, they spew out fire in smoke, in light, in sounds, sometimes in the lightning, and they also sometimes, when they reach their ultimate moment, they expel large quantities of liquid fire. Well, these stones are made from liquid fire. They're very, very fine stones. And I need you to let me approach you with these. Good. Very good. I'm going to put them back in. You can use your hand, by the way, as a funnel if you don't have one, but I do have one. Let me use my funnel. This one was a gift from a metalsmith. For treatments, of course. That's all he had, but that's all I needed. So it was a good bargain. You've never seen one of these? They're very practical. You put them into a smaller opening, and because of the larger opening on top, you have a better control of what goes in. You don't spill as much. So you keep it clean and you suspend it to dry so that it will not get dirty. And it is very, very useful in preparation of food or herbs or even grains. So I highly recommend you make one of yours, of your own. Some people make them out of leather. I would say only use that for dry goods as much as possible. Because if you put water in the leather, it will eventually crack, and it might even get spoiled. So I prefer funnels made out of brass, or in this case steel. The steel will tarnish. I just got this funnel 3 days ago, so it still looks really good. But if you keep it clean, if you scrub it once in a while with salt or sand, it will help keep the rust under control. I give out advice like that all the time. So I'm going to give you some of these in your pouch. There are compartments inside, so I'm just going to open it again. Better deposit that instead of dropping it. Oh, it's okay. Just stay there. I'm used to it. These pouches of mine, they don't open unless you want them to. I've lost enough over the years to know how important that is. So there's an inner pouch in there. I'm going to put some of these stones in that pouch. Just don't tilt it too much while you're traveling. You can still sort them out from the rice later. It's just a bit of a task, so try to avoid that from happening. Alright, we're almost done here. I just got to prepare a herbal treatment for you. Oh, and the stone. Where's the stone? Gave you the stone already. I need to give you a second stone, so let's move on with that. Remind me to give you the pouch later. Okay. So, as I said earlier, we caught the ailment early on, so your behavior has not been affected much yet, and I see you have an open mind, so that's good as well. This is a stone that was gathered from a river. Actually, this one from a stream, and it was polished by water for thousands of years, and it is very smooth, very, very smooth. It's been purified, and the intention that was placed upon this stone, not by me, but by a fairy that was helping me, is to help bring balance back into a person or a creature. So I highly recommend that you accept this from me. You place this underneath your sleeping area, especially underneath your head. It doesn't need to touch you. In fact, I would recommend against it. Do not let it touch your head. It's not dangerous, it's just a bit irritating because it is a stone. You can put it under your pillow or under your cot if that's all you have, under the straw on which you may sleep. I don't know your sleeping arrangements. It doesn't matter really in this case. You just need to have this underneath where your head is generally going to be. And over a period of days, maybe a week, the stone will start glowing. You will not see it. Don't even try to see it glow. You won't see it because you're affected, but somebody else would if they are not affected. So please keep this a secret underneath your bed. Try to wrap it in a cloth or something so that they don't see the glow, but you will see the glow. No, you will not see the glow. You're afflicted, and don't worry. Right now it's completely manageable. You're not in immediate danger. As long as you do what I say with these treatments, you'll be fine. If there are any complications, come back and I'll do my best to correct whatever little thing we might have forgotten about or overlooked. So you put this stone underneath your sleeping arrangements in the general area of where your head will be above of, and over a few days it will start glowing. You won't see it, but that glow will eventually coalesce or assemble itself into a butterfly, and that butterfly is a moth, actually a moth, and the moth will attract the other moths that have been swirling around your head. I wasn't sure what they were there for earlier, but now I know, and it means it's a warning for other people such as me to notice, pay attention to you, and then discover whatever afflicts you. So they were helping. So I would recommend you thank them. This will be a thank you, of course, but in the meantime, I recommend that every night before you go to bed, sing a song. Even if you don't have a good singing voice, it's the intention that counts. Sing them a song. Think about them in gratitude, and please thank them for their service because they've been so good to you we have caught it early. If I had not seen the butterflies, I would probably not have paid as much attention around your head area and around the energies around it. So I'm grateful for their help, and I hope you are too. So this stone will actually be an extra thank you, the main one for them. The glow will coalesce or assemble itself into a moth, just like them, a leader moth, and it will lead them back to the source of light where they come from. And that's a trip back home. Many butterflies or moths like that get lost because of the imbalances in the world. They are attracted to them, just like a moth to a flame. Their flame is imbalance, and it can kill them. So people are, unfortunately, the cause of many disappearances of these beautiful creatures. So if you learn to see them with your eye that has no eyelid, otherwise known as the third eye, you will see how beautiful they are, and how wonderful companions they can be for people who dream. So, or people who remember their dreams. They help you discover things about yourself, about the world. So this is a gift for them, and it's also a relief for you. So accept this. It's okay. I know I will receive a payment from you later. It always turns out okay. Yeah, I see you're calmer now. That's good. I will I have here a pestle and mortar made of marble. I know this is not very common, but it was yet another gift from a satisfied customer. And that's how I get paid, by the way. I do not accept coins. As you saw earlier, I have enough for a long time. My family is comfortable. We only ask for what we need, and what we will need in the immediate future. So it's good to have some reserves, of course, but we have that already. So right now we don't accept coins. We accept gifts of what we need. So if you have any seeds of the type that will grow in our soils in this region, we would really appreciate it, because our garden needs expansion. We are waiting for another child. If you have some cured meats, or what are they called? I'm getting a little bit tired. It's the end of the day. They are called fermented. Yes, excuse me. I was so focused on your situation, I forgot my own vocabulary. Fermented vegetables such as sauerkraut, or carrots, things that are fermented. We love these, and they keep us strong. So if you have some of that, you don't need to pay me now. When you start feeling some good improvements, think of us and visit us again and bring us something. And strangely enough, it will be what we need when you come. It always turns out that way. So we are grateful for that. And we only expect payments from people who have felt the good benefits, and no payments for people who have not had any. So thank you for understanding. We have here a pestle and mortar. I should have speeched to you about that before, but I forgot. I get all into the work and I forget. So I have these herbs here, and they're quite aromatic. They smell wonderful. The two main smells are from mint leaves, peppermint specifically, and green tea. Green tea. Tea is a plant that grows in the Far East, and they dry them with the sun, sometimes with the heat, but they prefer the sun. It's the best quality, and this is the best quality. And when they're dry, they shrivel down to a very small size into little buds, and then you put that in boiling water when you want to consume them, and it turns the water into a very healthy drink. But this is not the main ingredients in there. These are just for flavor and for extra energy. They revive you. But the real active ingredient in this is going to be a secret, because if people knew what was in there, they could cause a great disbalance in nature by harvesting it too much. So it's a combination of two active ingredients and two aromatic ingredients, and and another one just for a little zest for the flavor, so that people enjoy drinking it. So my special blend for imbalance and for purification. There's nothing wrong with being a wolf or being a dog or something like this, but in the case of a person who has not wished it upon themselves, it is an imbalance, so that energy must be channeled somewhere else, into another being or back into nature, so that it can be redistributed. So this will help with that. The stone will help with this. The first stone will help with that as well. So I'm going to grind them down for you. Normally, if it was just tea, you don't grind it, but because of my blend, I'm just going to oh yeah, this is glass. This is a rare glass. See how clear it is? I love it. I use it for this specific blend because I can see the freshness of it. Let's put the cap back on. Oh. These are special metal stoppers. I have never seen them before. I was introduced to these ones by a blacksmith friend of mine. He came up with them. He invented them. They are precisely shaped pieces of metal, very thin but very strong, because there's a lip design around them, and it turns on a lip that also is created around the glass, and it's airtight. It really keeps things fresh. It was a wonderful gift from a friend. So we just grind them until they're powder. It can take a little while. This would be easier if there was something like grains of salt in there. It helps with the grinding action. Just a little cooking trick for you. If you were already going to put salt in your soup, for example, put it in your herbs first before you grind them. It's going to help with the grinding process. Now this will never be an actual powder. I'm just reducing the size of the particles so that it will release easier in the water. You will not have to steep it as long. I'll put the instructions on a piece of parchment in your pouch so that see, all-purpose pouches, that's why I made them. Nothing gets to waste here. I was given a large sheet of leather, a large skin actually, and I made several items, and this was the last one. I'll need to find another. I have plenty of new pouches to make. So another pouch in there. So I think you're all set for the travels. You live very far? I guessed it, yes. The life in the city is a lot noisier, and it does make a certain effect on certain people. Most people, actually. I was going to do one more thing, and I distracted myself. Ah, there it is. Yes. I have a little extra gift for you here. It's okay. That's the reason why I picked them. I picked them this morning. I did not know why, but now I do. It's for you. Oh. Is this one meant to stay here? Thank you. It says I'm clumsy. That's all it meant. There you go. So these are quartz crystals. I picked them from the stream this morning. I noticed them sparkling, and not because I'm greedy or anything. It's just it looked beautiful, and something made me want to pick them up, and now I know why. It's for you. Quartz crystals. They are not rare. They are not precious. In this, unless they are massive, unless they are immense big chunks, and those have their purpose in magical circles and stuff like that. But these are small ones, and they are quite common, but if you know what to do with them, they can be quite beneficial. You can put them in your water for a little bit to charge your water and get better energies from it. It helps purify it as well. You can put your intentions in those crystals, and they will help make a home more comfortable. So for harmony. I always recommend people having stones in their homes as part of their decor, as part of their feeling good about where they live. It could be a stone hearth, where your fire is built, or it could be at the four corners of your home. It could be a shelf. It could be an altar. I always recommend having a stone in your home because it's part of nature, and it will ground you. It will help you vibrate at the right frequencies. So I'm giving you these little stones as helpers. And when you feel like they need to move on, bring them back to the forest or put them in your garden so that they can be part of, more directly part of nature again. Just like you and I, we're part of nature, but because of our human activities, we are sometimes forgetting about our origins and our connections to nature. I believe that's why you're here, and I believe that's why I do what I do. So I'm really happy to have been able to help you. And again, don't feel bad right now that you cannot pay me. I noticed, don't worry. When you start feeling good, when you start feeling better about your ailment, the headaches will go away, by the way. By tomorrow, we probably won't have any more, or they'll be greatly reduced. So once you feel a lot better, think of me again, and something will come up. You may look around and see that you have an object that you don't need anymore, or somebody may bring you something that you don't actually need, and that may be the sign that this is what we need. So bring it to us, and it will work. It always does. So we're grateful for your visit, my family and I, and come back anytime. If you have anything else to deal with, or if you need some advice on cooking, my wife and I are quite the amateurs when it comes to, not amateurs, but enthusiasts when it comes to flavors. So we're always, really happy to share with people, like I did earlier. So come and have a meal with us at some point in the future. Right now, with your ailments, you have some canine tendencies. You might alert my dogs when they come back. So I recommend waiting a few weeks. But the invitation is honest. I come and have a meal with us when you're feeling much better, and tell us your story. Tell us how much better you're feeling, and that's gonna make good entertainment for my family and I. Thank you. Get well.